Yeah. What's good? What's good? What's good? This is your boy Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on your dose to chalk it up. Where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the energy. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. You feel me? Make sure you guys are also checking out the other content we have on the channel. We got a ton of things going on. The shorts are popping. The short clips, the videos, they're doing well. My videos about fandom and pop culture and movies, those are doing pretty well too. I appreciate y'all going along for that ride with me, man. If you guys haven't already, go check out my reaction to the new Avengers Doomsday trailer. You guys are really locked in on that, and I really do appreciate it. So make sure you guys go check it out if you're interested. Man, we got some things to get into. Let's really just hop right in, right? We know why you guys are here. Let's not pussyfoot around this. Eagles and Ravens played last night. Eagles lose the game 24-7. Now, we don't really care about the outcome, right? The outcome of the game is not what we're tracking. We spoke about this prior to the game starting. You guys asked me on more than one occasion, and I told you guys on more than one occasion what I was looking for, what you guys were looking for. Some of the things I mentioned, I said I like to zoom out first, and I want to just see an overall efficient operation of the offense. I want to see guys calling the plays in and guys getting to the line and hiking the ball, snapping the ball at a reasonable pace. I don't want to see penalties. I want to see clean football. I want to see people understanding their responsibilities. I'm not worried about the outcome, but I want you to look competent. We know they don't game plan these matchups. You're not game planning for the opponent. You're just calling a very vanilla game plan. That was clear as day. It looked like Baltimore was calling a little bit more creative plays. They looked like they were kind of jumping into the playbook a little deeper than the Eagles were. It looks like it was clear the Eagles were keeping it way more vanilla than Baltimore. But besides the point, it also looked like one group of quarterbacks were living in their offense a little longer than the other group of quarterbacks. That is, the Eagles quarterbacks did not look too good in this game whatsoever, up until Cole Payton came onto the field. But we'll get into that. But like I said, I'm looking for efficient operation. I'm looking to see the least amount of mistakes made. That's penalties. That's the play calls coming in. I will say this, though. There was a lot of space created with what Sean Mannion was doing. Now, granted, that was only a taste, but you got a sense for what this offense could look like. They're utilizing the entire field. They're stretching the defense. You got to cover every blade of grass. You saw that. You saw that as it pertains to what Mannion is trying to do. So, like I said, we're looking for a little bit of a philosophy shift, right? But more than anything, clean operation. And on the first play, what happens? Tank Bigsby gets a nice outside zone run, strong run, gets about 8 or 9 yards. What happens? Eli Stowers called for holding, took away Tank Bigsby's run. So your first play of the game, penalty, holding on the rookie. And a lot of people have been paying close attention to Eli Stowers in terms of how he blocks, because I think people expect the pass catching and the vertical ability to naturally just come. I think people are really paying attention to his ability to block. And I don't think he was awful tonight blocking. Granted, he had that penalty to start. But from that point forward, I don't think he was awful. You clearly see he has a ways to go, but he was in on the action. He was in on some decent run plays the Eagles were able to muster. The offensive run game, the run game didn't really pop until Will Shipley got on the field. But I don't think that's because Tank Bigsby wasn't doing well. I just think I just think you don't have as good of blockers out there with EJ Jenkins and Eli Stowers. But there were moments where Eli looked okay. So he still has a ways to go nonetheless. But overall, the quarterback play was putrid. For the Philadelphia Eagles. I didn't think Andy Dalton nor Tanner McKee played well whatsoever. They looked, Tanner McKee's footballs were sailing. Wasn't really accurate whatsoever. Andy Dalton was settling for checkdowns, couldn't really push the ball down the field. I mean, they just didn't elevate the personnel around them. And I felt like the personnel around them played a little bit better than what those quarterbacks did. But you only can go as far as what your quarterback can take you. I want to lean more so into what I saw from that offensive line. I thought it was really fun watching the Eagles' offensive line play, in particular those depth guys. Right, there's some guys I'm going to focus on, but I think overall I saw decent pass protection. Run blocking was okay. Could have been better. But I think pass blocking is where they really stood out. Guys like Markel Bell. Very, very, very solid debut for him. Markel Bell, rookie. I think Markel was drafted in the 3rd round out of the University of Miami. He's a Hurricane. Shout out to Mario Cristobal. Markel Bell played 21 snaps, which was 48% of the snaps available to him. And I got to tell you, Markel Bell handled Mike Green. Mike Green, number 15. If you guys are unfamiliar with Mike Green was one of the most sought after pass rushers in the most recent NFL draft, the 2026 draft. Mike Green, as a matter of fact, let me double check this. Is Mike Green coming into year 1 or year 2? Okay, so sorry. Mike Green was drafted in last year's draft. Mike Green is entering year 2. Played in 17 games, started 2 games, 3.5 sacks as a rookie. But he was a rotational pass rusher for the Baltimore Ravens last year. Mike Green is a talented player, 6'3", 250. He came into the league with some pedigree behind him. Mike Green led the NCAA in sacks when he got drafted. And Markel Bell handled him. Markel Bell, Mike Green is a former 2nd-round pick. And Markel Bell handled him, controlled him, didn't allow a pressure or a sack or a quarterback hit. Clean operation by Markel Bell. Has to continue to be mindful of his leverage and his height. Has to get as low as possible. But he didn't seem like a guy that was limited. Nice debut for Markel Bell. Very nice debut from him. I'm really excited about what's to come from him. Lane Johnson gave him a ton of flowers throughout training camp, and you're beginning to see what Lane Johnson has seen. It was good seeing Markel Bell in action. It's so funny because Markel Bell is like, again, he's 6'9", 6'10", he's huge, and you see him standing next to Willie Lampkin, right? And Willie Lampkin had a fantastic performance, a very fun performance. Willie Lampkin played some center, and he played some right guard. And seeing him, a guy who's 5'11", lined up next to Markel Bell, who's 6'9", it messes with your eyes a little bit. It plays around with your eyes. But regardless, you would have thought Willie Lampkin was 6'10" the way he was playing yesterday. Willie Lampkin plays violently, with mean, with rude, with bad intentions. Willie Lampkin is looking for a body to bury. And it seemed like every time Willie Lampkin got his hands on somebody, he was putting them in the dirt. He was driving them to the ground. He was following through, playing through the whistle, as a matter of fact. There was a play where he took Broderick Washington Jr. He's a D tackle for the Ravens, number 96. He took Broderick Washington Jr. for a ride. I think it was a 3rd and long. Andy Dalton tried to find, I think he hit Brenton Covey, or I think it was Tanner McKee that hit Brenton Covey. Can't remember what quarterback it was, but Willie Lampkin drove that man at least 10 yards backwards and then put him in the dirt on his ass. And remind you, Broderick Washington Jr., 6-year veteran, has played a lot of high-quality reps for the Baltimore Ravens at D tackle. He's been a solid rotational D tackle for them. I think for the past 2 seasons, he's averaged about 3 sacks for them, 2 to 3 sacks. So he's been a very solid D tackle for the Ravens. And he's entering year 7. And he handled him. So, again, Markel Bell and Willie Lampkin, they play violently. They play through the whistle. And they do such a good job at sealing off defenders. They get those edge guys and those DTs to turn around, and they seal them off, and they create lanes, and they play through the whistle, and they're violent, they're physical. And because Willie Lampkin is he's so short, he's already low enough to the ground, he's always going to be able to win that leverage battle. And he's athletic, he moves, and he's a former wrestler. So got good hands, good feet. But yeah, man. Willie Lampkin and Markel Bell definitely stood out. I think Drew Kendall had a solid game as well. I think Jake Majors on the offensive line had a solid game. Jake Majors has had an up and down training camp, but Jake Majors actually looked solid. He looked solid playing the interior. Drew Kendall, same thing. And seeing Willie Lampkin play center and right guard and see that physicality still translate, yeah, that was really, really fun to watch. That was really fun to watch. Moving on, some other guys I wanted to talk about. The wide receiver battle is still relatively unclear beyond Dontavion Wicks, right? Dontavion Wicks did not play, which tells me everything I need to know. Remember, the Eagles traded for him, and then they gave him a 1-year extension. The Eagles see Dontavion Wicks as a key contributor in this pass game. Dontavion Wicks did not play last night, which tells me we're not going to see him at all for the remainder of the preseason. And Wicks has been in this league for a handful of years, 3 or 4, almost, I think 5 years, something like that. So he knows preparation. He understands his responsibilities, and Wicks also has more experience in this offense than anybody else. And he clearly has shown enough in training camp where they don't want to throw him out there. They clearly feel like he's the number 2. So Devontae Smith and Dontavion Wicks, clearly number 1 and number 2 receiver. After that, now that's where we get into the competition, clearly. Makai Lemon did not play, obviously. We still don't know when we're going to see him. But we saw Darius Cooper. We saw Elijah Moore briefly. We saw Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown played 7 snaps, only 16% of the snaps available. He didn't pop at all. You saw them try to get Hollywood Brown involved on some swing plays. Couldn't really pop. Darius Cooper didn't really pop either. Played 29 snaps, which was 66% of the snaps available to him. Darius Cooper ended the game with 5 targets, 2 catches, 21 yards. All those targets weren't good targets, and he also had a bad drop on 3rd down. So you got to catch that. When you get those opportunities, you got to convert those. That was and by the way, it took forever for the Eagles to convert a 1st down. They were getting smoked in the 1st down battle. By the end of the game, the 1st down count was 31-6. Ravens way. Eagles didn't get their first down until Tanner McKee came into the game. And that was like in the 2nd quarter, I think. Maybe the 3rd. I can't even remember. It was bad. But the wide receiver competition is still relatively unclear. Neither Darius Cooper or Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore played 7 snaps as well. Johnny Wilson didn't play at all. Those guys still have to create separation, because these are the moments where you got to show everything you've built and put it on put it on the football field on game day. And neither of those guys really separated themselves. I still have Darius Cooper edging Hollywood Brown and Elijah Moore just because he's still shown more in totality. But Elijah Moore and Hollywood Brown had the experience, the veteran experience, the proven production in the NFL on their side. So that's something the Eagles got to consider. Johnny Wilson has the traits on his side, being that size, that athletic, can block. You know, he has that on his side. He's strung together a few solid practices at training camp, but the competition is still unclear. Still unclear. But I'm still rolling with Darius Cooper as wide receiver 3, at least until Makai Lemon proves otherwise. Still today, my wide receivers going into the season, if they're keeping 6, I'm rolling with Devontae Smith, Dontavion Wicks, Makai Lemon, Darius Cooper, Elijah Moore, Johnny Wilson. That's where I'm at right now. I think Elijah Moore and Hollywood Brown cancel each other out. All right, moving on. And make sure you guys stay locked in. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate the love, and I really do appreciate the support. You guys are truly, truly, truly phenomenal. Let's keep the ball rolling here. Some other people that stood out to me. I thought Will Shipley was running pretty hard. Will Shipley looked good in his limited opportunities. Will Shipley ended the game with 7 carries, 22 rush attempts. But I thought Will Shipley had some solid, strong runs. I got to give credit where credit is due when it comes to that. Got to give credit to Cole Payton for coming into the game, providing a spark. Cole Payton, quarterback, I believe, drafted in the 6th, 5th, maybe the 5th or 6th round, something like that. Cole Payton showed some pop. And remember, in training camp, we were just hearing things about him, right? How he takes a ton of risks with the football. He's fearless. But this dude is different. This dude came into a hopeless situation and provided an instant spark. And that is something you have to respect. Cole Payton ended the game 4 for 9, only 37 passing yards, but has a passing touchdown, didn't get sacked, with a 93.3 passer rating. He also had 3 carries for 45 yards, averaging 15 yards a carry. His longest run of the day, 17 yards. What stood out to me about Cole Payton was his pocket awareness. That was the fun part about Cole Payton. Seeing Cole Payton just feel that pressure and just utilize that athleticism, utilize those fast twitch muscles and get out of dodge and keep his eyes downfield. Like in training camp, you want to see Cole Payton, show his talent as a passer, right? You want to see him show his ability to get the ball from point A to point B. But once that game starts, that real game, and the bullets start flying, I don't care what he does. Move the ball. And he is a fearless dude. You could tell he just wanted to hit somebody. You could tell. Man, Cole Payton just wanted to hit somebody last night. And for him to come out and just provide that instant spark, you got to give credit where credit is due. The dude is physical. He's not afraid to put his shoulder down. He's giving Taysom Hill vibes. And if I'm the Eagles, I'm going to find a way. I'm going to find a way to get him involved in the offense. Somehow, some way. He's so athletically gifted. You saw his athletic traits jump off the screen. And he's what, 6? How big is this dude? Let me see this. Cole Payton is got to be like 6'4". 6'3". Pardon me, y'all. Cole Payton is 6'3". And then for him to create that, because remember, that touchdown pass to, was it Izukama? Let me double check my man's name. Eric Izukama, number 49, 6-yard touchdown pass to him. That was some improvisation. Excuse me. You saw Cole Payton in the pocket, taking the pressure, handling it, getting out of dodge. And then on top of that, hey, Loki, come here, man. You're killing my vibe. And then on top of that, what he did was after the penalty, because remember, prior to his touchdown pass, there was a penalty. He had ran for a good amount of yards, and then they called it back for a holding call. And then next play, he runs and gets the yardage back. And then he finds Eric Izukama for the touchdown reception. I mean, Cole Payton showed me more than Tanner McKee did. And Tanner McKee, look, I'm going to be honest with y'all about Tanner McKee. I don't know about y'all. Like, I like him. I ain't mad at him. But Tanner McKee's performances have gone downhill since the Super Bowl year. His performances have gone downhill since that Washington game. Like, let's be honest. When's the last good Tanner McKee performance we saw? Week 18 against the Giants, right? Week 18 against the Giants. That's the last time we saw a decent Tanner McKee performance. And remember, he's a backup. He's not going to have too many opportunities to show it. So you better at least make sure they don't get worse. You just remain steady. But that hasn't been the case. His performances have gone downhill since the Week 18 Giants game. He didn't look good in Week 18 against the Washington Commanders. He didn't look good last night. When you're a backup, you don't get too many cracks at the apple. So when you get on the field, you got to look steady. You got to look responsible. You got to look like you know what you're doing. And he was just overthrowing guys, underthrowing. Like he just didn't look settled in that pocket. Feet were all over the place. And then the penalties, man. I mean, the penalties all across the board. 8 total penalties in the game. 76 yards total loss for the Eagles last night. Just not good overall. Not good operation whatsoever. They got a lot to clean up. But overall, most of the excitement came on the defensive side of the ball, especially in the trenches. Now let's get to some stars, some people who shined, right? Jeremiah Trotter Jr., my Lord. I'm telling you guys, I've been very candid about this. Trotter Jr. is going to start somewhere. And seeing Trotter Jr. and Jahai Campbell on the field together, they're competent. They know where they're supposed to be. You see Jahai Campbell as well navigating traffic. You see him directing traffic. You see the instincts. Jahai Campbell and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. were very sharp last night. They were very steady. They were never out of place. And you saw guys barely get by him. I mean, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. had a sack. He played 37 snaps, 46%, 5 total tackles, 2 solo, 1 sack, 1 quarterback hit. Jahai Campbell, again, 14 snaps, 18% of the total snaps, 3 total tackles, 1 solo. Looked sharp. Ty Robinson, phenomenal performance by Ty Robinson. His best performance in a Philadelphia Eagles uniform, by far. 47 snaps total played for Ty Robinson at D tackle. 59% of the total snaps, had 2 total tackles. Both of them were solo tackles, 1 sack, 1 TFL, 1 quarterback hit. Ty Robinson had a very solid performance last night. And that's what you want to see, a guy who's looked at who's going to be a consistent contributor or a steady source of snaps once you move on from Earl Jomo and Byron Young. Byron Young looked good as well yesterday. The Eagles, what stood out to me yesterday about the Eagles, especially on defense, their trenches, the trenches for the Eagles are solid. Their depth pieces on the offensive and defensive line, solid. Behind Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, you got Byron Young, Earl Jomo, and Tyler Robinson who's coming along. I like this. And then on the edge, you got Jonathan Grenard and Jalen Hunt and Nolan Smith. You take it a step further, AJ Epinesa, who had a very good game yesterday. 20 snaps total, 25% of the total snaps, 3 total tackles, but all 3 of them were solo tackles. He was everywhere. When he couldn't get to the quarterback, he made sure he affected the game in some kind of way. Didn't allow any long plays. He stuffed the run a couple times, got it on the action. Arnold Ebiketie had a decent performance as well. I like the Eagles' depth pieces right now. The veterans with experience, and AJ Epinesa is going to provide that. Arnold Ebiketie, hey, making it hard, making it tough. Eagles' run defense, in my humble opinion, was stout until it wasn't. I thought the Eagles did a decent job making things challenging for the Baltimore Ravens run game, but when your offense isn't putting up any points and you're living on the football field, you're going to leak oil. You gave the Baltimore Ravens so many opportunities to run the football. Of course, they're going to eclipse 100 yards. They ran the ball 36 times, and they only averaged 3.9 yards per carry. The Ravens could not run the ball yesterday. They only got over 140 yards because of the attempts, not because of their efficiency or the potency of their run game. They couldn't run the ball. Their quarterback run game couldn't get off because the linebackers and the D line was on it. They couldn't run the football. So I give a lot of credit to that Eagles defense for stopping the run. And I actually think the Eagles pass rush did a great job as well. Huntley and Fagnano did not have a consistently clean pocket. What happened was you saw poor performances from the secondary for the Eagles. Stand by, y'all. Again, I say, I think the trenches for the Eagles played well. Run defense was legit. Linebacker performances was legit. I think the Eagles lack depth at safety, and they lack corner depth. After Cooper DeJean, it's a crapshoot. James Jones didn't play. He's a vet. I think he's going to make the team just off the strength of that. But once you get beyond Quinyon Mitchell, Rick Woolen, Cooper DeJean, it's a crapshoot because Matt McWilliams was very inconsistent. Keely Ringo, although he had that interception in the end zone, he was inconsistent. He had a I think he had a defensive holding, had a DPI. He got beat like Keely Ringo again. He had the interception that was dope. That was cool for him. That's he can keep that football. But Keely Ringo didn't play well last night. Keely Ringo didn't play well last night. Dope interception, athletic play. You see what he can be. But he didn't play well last night. Michael Carter II didn't play well last night. Andre Sam didn't play well last night. Right? And those are the guys that are really fighting for really in competition. Michael Carter II is in direct competition with Marcus Epps. Marcus Epps didn't play last night because they know what he is, and he's been in this league for a long time. They know what he can do at safety. He's proven it last year. Marcus Epps is honestly the backup plan. They really want Michael Carter to pop. That's what I really think. I think the Eagles see a higher ceiling with Michael Carter II, and they don't really need to. They know what Marcus Epps is. They know what he's going to do, so they don't need to see him play. They need to see Michael Carter II prove it, and he didn't really do himself any justice. I want to give credit to Shaun Wade. I want to give credit to Shaun Wade because Shaun Wade, cornerback for the Eagles, he got beat on a comeback route by Elijah Surratt. By the way, I like that player, Elijah Surratt, and I like the other Jacoby Lane, the USC wide receiver that the Ravens drafted, I think, in the 3rd round or something like that. Jacoby Lane. Him and Elijah Surratt are going to be good players. But Shaun Wade for the Eagles, cornerback, got beat on a comeback route by Elijah Surratt. Had him in the spin cycle. But Shaun Wade didn't give up on the play. Elijah Surratt was trying to make some guys miss. What does Shaun Wade do? He follows through, peanut punches the ball from the back, and forces the fumble. Eagles recover. So, Shaun Wade, I like that. I like players who have a short-term memory. That's what that displayed. That displayed hunger and playing to the whistle and having a short-term memory. Just as quickly as you're the villain, you can be the hero. And that's what Shaun Wade was in that moment. So shout out to Shaun Wade for making the most of that opportunity, or making the most. Or well, no, you're right, making the most of that opportunity. Where else we got to talk about? We have to address my God. They played Uar Bernard last night. I did not think they would play him. Now, granted, the stakes are so low. This damn dog in this toy, y'all. Seriously, the stakes are so low. Why not play him, right? But Uar Bernard played. As a matter of fact, let me make sure I got this right here. Uar Bernard, how many snaps did he play? Hey, come on, Loki. Come on, dog. That toy's too loud. I got to see how many snaps he played. Here it is. Uar Bernard played 15 snaps. 15 snaps. And I got to tell you, he's a work in progress, but he had a chance on a tackle in the red zone. He had a chance for a tackle. He couldn't get it, but he got off the block. You see how powerful he is, but you also see that he's counting his steps a bit. He's still learning to get. This was his first ever football game ever. And it was fun. It was fun, man. I'm really pulling for Uar Bernard. It was fun watching Joshua Wiru. Joshua Wiru was another International Pathways player who I think played pretty decently. He played 30 snaps. He was on the field for a while. The Eagles have some interesting prospects coming out of that International Pathways program. They really, really do. And it was really exciting seeing Uar Bernard play last night. A super chat here. We got Green Wingman with the super chat. He says, if Howie was, thank you for the $5 super chat, Greeny. He says, if Howie was hoping to get trade capital from one of these quarterbacks, their performance last night did not help. Facts. They did not sell it whatsoever. Andy Dalton and Tanner McKee were god awful. Shout out to Cole Payton for actually playing like he fighting for something. Cole Payton was out there having fun. See what it is? Cole Payton know he's not going to be the starter. He know he's not the second string guy, but he knows he's going to be on this roster. Or if anything, he knows that he has a chance to just go out there and play free. And that's what he did. The Big Ten and Rapper with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Big Ten. He says, I still don't want to blame the defense too much for giving up points. The offense was unable to stay on the field, tired out the defense more than Baltimore could. You're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, when you gave Baltimore a grand total, let's make sure we got these metrics right. Baltimore had, listen to this. The Eagles' time of possession was 18 minutes and 43 seconds. Baltimore's time of possession, 41 minutes and 17 seconds. You gave Baltimore 41 minutes of ball control. 41 minutes of ball control. And you gave them 36 rush attempts. And they only averaged 3.9 yards a carry. They couldn't run the ball. And they couldn't protect the quarterbacks consistently. You sacked their quarterbacks 3 times. But Baltimore was efficient in the red zone, 3 for 4 in the red zone. When the Eagles got to the red zone, they were 1 for 1. So they just couldn't get there. But when they got there, they scored. Eagles had 10 total penalties for 96 yards. Baltimore only had 3 for 25. But the defense also forced 2 turnovers. So you held them to under 4 yards a carry on the ground. You forced 2 turnovers. And on 37 pass attempts, Baltimore averaged 7.5 yards a pass or an attempt. You allowed 31 first downs. So what you saw was the defense was actually bending and barely breaking. They were bending and barely breaking. They forced turnovers. They stopped the run. There's some things to take away from this defense positively. Offensively, the only thing you can really take out of it positively was Cole Payton is fun to watch, and your offensive line depth is developing very well. Miles Hinton and Cameron Williams have fallen. Miles Hinton and Cameron Williams were drafted in the previous draft class. They were drafted in the 2025 draft class. Miles Hinton is a legacy. His dad played in the league. Cameron Williams played at the University of Texas. Those guys had been outplayed by Markel Bell, Willie Lampkin, Drew Kendall, Fred Johnson. I think Cameron Williams had a real bad penalty in the red zone. His penalty is the one that took away the Cole Payton scramble. So right now, your best offensive linemen after your starters are Markel Bell, Willie Lampkin, Drew Kendall, and Fred Johnson. And that's not a bad place to be. That's a nice combination of interchangeable pieces. Fred Johnson and Markel Bell can swing tackle, right? Fred can play that left. Markel can play that right. Drew Kendall and Willie Lampkin can swing guard, swing interior guys. They both can play center. They both can play either guard, left and right guard. You're in a good position depth-wise on the offensive line. You're in a great position. They're young, and they're only getting better. Defensively, depth pieces, really strong in the front seven. Depth pieces and the depth in the back four is weak. But that front seven, the depth, very strong. Even with the struggles of the secondary, you still forced 2 turnovers that came by way of your defensive backs. One was an interception, one was a forced fumble. And you forced Baltimore to go the full length of the field. Offense didn't do you any favors. Offense only had the ball for 18 minutes. Baltimore's offense had the ball for 41 minutes. They ran the ball 37, 36 times and only averaged 3.9 yards a carry. So I think defense had a better day than what the point says, the point card says, the scorecard. Defense had a better job than what that score says. Did a way better job than what the score says. Offense let them down. But I think the offensive line, your depth showed up in the form of Markel Bell, Willie Lampkin, Drew Kendall, and Fred Johnson. And I think Jake Majors, can't forget about him, had a solid performance as well. But we need more from Tanner McKee and Andy Dalton. You need more from your receiver room. You need to see guys stand out a little bit more, show some value, show some pop. Granted, Hollywood Brown and Elijah Moore only played 7 snaps apiece. Darius Cooper played the most snaps out of all of them. He should have made more of those opportunities, but the quarterback play was bad. So what can you do? What can you do? Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Really do appreciate you guys for locking in. We have over 140 people tuned in. You guys are truly carrying this thing. Michael Morris was okay. Michael Morris was solid as well. Can't take that away from him. Again, I think your offensive line played well enough to win that football game. Your quarterbacks did not. And also give credit to Baltimore's defense for showing up too. Baltimore's defense did a good job. In particular in the secondary, because I felt like the quarterbacks had time. It was Baltimore's secondary that made life challenging for the quarterbacks. But man, was it fun watching Cole Payton operate. It was really fun watching Cole Payton operate. Even him with the football, when he throws the football, I I felt more intentionality from Cole Payton. I saw somebody throwing the ball with blind confidence. Maybe you felt differently. Did you see what I saw? In comparison to Cole Payton, Andy Dalton, and Tanner McKee, Cole Payton looked like he actually wanted to play football last night. He looked like he was throwing that ball knowing it was going to be a completion. He looked fast. He had pop. He was elusive. He showed pocket awareness. You can tell he had that internal clock in his head. You could tell he was like, 1, 2, nobody there, or I'm out. You can tell he was trying to go through his progressions. He was trying to give his receivers a chance to make a play happen. And he kept his eyes downfield. And when things broke down, he got yardage. And he's strong, hard to get down to the ground. You got to give Cole Payton credit. That was so fun. He threw the ball like he knew the ball was going to be complete. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to be a household name. I'm not going to say that. But you never know, man. You never know. All right, let's see here. Let's see what else we got to talk about before we get out of here. All right. I think I hit everything I really wanted to hit. Again, Trotter Jr., Jahai Campbell, Ty Robinson, Byron Young. I thought the defense played good enough to win that football game. Zion Young, I was hearing his name all day. Well, I'm sorry, Zion Young was on Baltimore. Pardon me. He had a decent performance too. AJ Epinesa, right? Matt McWilliams led the team in total tackles with 10, 9 solo. Maximus Pulley was second, 8 total tackles, 6 solo. Ambry Thomas, 7 total tackles, 4 solo. Small Mondon had a pretty good performance as well. 5 total tackles, 2 solo, had a quarterback hit. Teron Jackson had a sack. Remember Teron Jackson? I think the Eagles drafted him in 2021 or 2020 or something like that. And he's been a journeyman in the league. He's been still getting NFL checks on practice squads as a depth edge rusher. And Teron Jackson is a great preseason player. Always leaves the preseason with a sack or two. And he got a sack last night. Again, overall, man, defense played well enough to win. Eli Stowers, he almost flew under the radar. Eli Stowers didn't really get too many opportunities. Only had 3 targets, 3 catches, 12 yards. 2 of those catches came at the end of the second quarter when nobody's really paying attention to you. I mean, I think Eli Stowers, they didn't really push the ball downfield that much. You didn't really see Eli Stowers going vertical. You saw them utilizing him in the slot. I'm not in the slot. I'm sorry. You saw him really hitting the flat. A little short curl route. Nothing crazy. He didn't really do too much. So I don't really have a definitive take on Eli Stowers' performance. I thought blocking was hit or miss. He had moments where it was like, okay, solid. Had a moment where he looked weak. Had a holding call. So Eli Stowers is a work in progress, but I don't think people need to stress about him. I don't think people need to stress about him at all. Just let him develop. Just let him develop. All right, let's see. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Hey, do me a favor. I want to know who how can I word this to you guys? Who increased their stock and who decreased their stock last night? I want you to give me one player or however many you want. Give me a player or two who you believe their stock went up and a player whose stock went down. Because for me, I mean, I always knew Trotter Jr. was going to be good, but I mean, I guess you could say his stock went up, but we were already pretty confident in him. The Markel Bell stock shot up. The Willie Lampkin stock shot up. Drew Kendall stock went up. Jake Major stock went up. Ty Robinson stock went up. Let me see here. Cole Payton stock went up. Green Wingman says Willie Lampkin for sure. That man is violent. He is a different cat. Y'all want to know what do y'all know what his Twitter name is? I don't know if you guys ever looked this up. Willie Lampkin's Twitter handle, or X, whatever you want to call it. Willie Lampkin's Twitter handle is Will Hitstick 52. Will Hitstick 52. It's quite on brand. Witch King says Trotter and Jihad went up. Facts. Tiffany Simpson says, we good. We have a busy week coming up. Let's go Birds. That is true. D Block says Ty Robinson. I agree with that. He had a phenomenal performance. Had a sack. Looked strong. Was constantly getting pressure. Markel Bell, Willie Lampkin, and Will Shipley. I'm not mad at that. Will Shipley looked strong. He looked really strong. And he looked like he's going to benefit a lot from this outside zone run offense. Mick 3815 says Michael Carter's stock went down. Yeah, I would have to agree. Witch King says Tanner McKee and Matt McWilliams' stock went down. I agree with that. Jonathan Harvey says Jeremiah Trotter Jr. will replace Zack Baun in 2027 or 2028. That's an interesting conversation. I've talked about that openly on my show. And it all depends on what kind of conversation Zack Baun has with the Eagles. It's entirely possible that Zack Baun may feel like he can get more money. Or let me put it this way. Jeremiah Trotter makes it easy for the Eagles to walk away from Zack Baun at the negotiation table. Because Trotter Jr. and Jihad Campbell as a combo looks good. And I know Zack Baun is obviously the better player out of all those guys. We know that. He's proven it. First team All-Pro, 2-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion. I mean, NFL top 100. Voted in it twice. We know Zack Baun is a legit talent. He can play the game. We developed him. We built him. We've created him. But Trotter Jr. playing this well, Jihad Campbell playing this well, if this carries over and if Trotter can continue to develop, he makes it easy for the Eagles to walk away from the negotiation table with Zack Baun if Zack Baun is playing hardball. If Zack Baun is playing hardball, get over here, boy. If Zack Baun is playing hardball, Trotter Jr. makes it an easy conversation to have. Makes it real easy. Unique Cross says Markel Bell increased his stock. I agree 100%. Hey, excuse me. I don't need you barking out my window, okay? My bad, y'all. Hold on 1 second. So, yeah, again, Markel Bell increased his stock, played very well. Darius Cooper stock took a hit. It did. But here's the thing. It did take a hit. But remember, he's been arguably one of your most consistent receivers in training camp. Here's why I'm not going to kill Darius Cooper too much, Hollywood Brown, or Elijah Moore. Here's why I'm not going to kill him too much. That whole offense was not good. The quarterback play was not good at all. Outside of that one drop on third down, I didn't think Darius Cooper was out of position. I didn't think he looked bad. I just think the quarterback play was bad. But It's hard for me to get a clear view on the wide receiver stock after what I saw from Tanner McKee and Andy Dalton. I want to be fair to Darius Cooper. I want to be fair to Hollywood Brown. I want to be fair to Elijah Moore, Danny Gray, Britton Covey. Those guys did not have a fair shot at it last night because Andy Dalton and Tanner McKee were not good whatsoever. Tiffany Simpson says Lampkin is up. Tanner McKee is down. That's a fact. Jonathan Harvey says the wideouts that Hurts will depend on, as I see it, are Smitty and Wicks. That's not a harsh take right now. Calvin says Markel Bell reminds me of Trey Thomas. Ooh, I'm not mad at that comp. Not mad at that comp at all. Void says Zack Baun is a 2-time All-Pro. I don't want to lose him, but Trotter Jr. does make it easier. Yeah, and Baun, just to be more specific, so just for the sake of accuracy, Zack Baun is a 1-time first-team All-Pro. He made the Pro Bowl twice. He's only a 1-time All-Pro. Last season, he didn't make first or second-team All-Pro at linebacker. But regardless, 2-time All-Pro, a first-team All-Pro, Super Bowl champ. We know what Zack Baun does. We know how good he is. He's a guy who's in his prime right now. But like I said, Trotter Jr. makes that conversation way easier. Plus on Black says Dante Lawson, Kapena Gushikan, Maximus Pulley increased their stock for me. Darius Cooper is steady. Yeah, not bad. That's a good evaluation. Void Green says the quarterback play let Darius Cooper down. I agree, 100%. Nana Osei says I'm definitely putting that on the quarterbacks. Retro God says, feels like I'm tripping, but watching that offense last night made me think Kevin Batula was still the OC. Yeah. Let's pump the brakes on that. We ain't there yet. Let's pump the brakes on that. We ain't there yet, y'all. But I do appreciate y'all for locking in the way you guys have been. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate y'all. You guys have been phenomenal. Follow me on TikTok at Chalk It Up. _sports, and on Instagram as well. On Twitter, make sure you guys follow me at DeShields __. Not hard to find, you guys. So I do appreciate the love and the support. Continue to support the channel. Continue to support the clips, the shorts, all the long form content. You guys truly are the engine. You guys are the gasoline, the oil to the machine we have here, you guys, right? I'm just steering the ship, and you guys are truly making it easy for me. All right. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You guys have been locked in on Chalk It Up, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.